P2P as a distribution mechanism is phenomenally efficient for moving large files. The challenge is that it tends to be a bit of a predatory type technology on someone who's running a closed commercial network. And that has been inherently some of the challenges that we're starting to see in wide-scale adoption. I'm not entirely sure of the numbers, but I think last year I'd heard that upwards of 60% of internet traffic on the whole that was going on a global basis was BitTorrent related. When you look at, could be anywhere between 40 to 60% in reality. The impact of that on someone who's running a closed network, and in particular a cable operator, is that the upstream bandwidth that they have is far more precious than the downstream bandwidth. And as you know, with P2P, you're sharing up as well as pulling down. And that creates tremendous bottlenecks on the network. It's less of a problem for telcos, but it's still precious bandwidth that they have that in effect they're not getting paid for. It's not necessarily tied to piracy in any way, shape, or form. It's just the notion that the network's being used in a way that they're not profiting from, and it's hard on their infrastructure. So in a lot of cases, what we're starting to see are those network operators doing what's called packet filtering and saying, well, that particular traffic is not authorized on our network. You can't do it, and we'll turn it off. It starts with throttling, the amount of bandwidth that you're able to get access to if you use P2P technology extensively. But more broadly in the network, it's now starting to look like, well, we can see, we as a network operator, that particular traffic is this kind of P2P protocol. We'll stop it altogether. If you want access to our network, BitTorrent or some other commercial P2P provider, you have to tell us that you'd like that traffic and enter some commercial arrangement with us so that we'll allow your P2P traffic to flow on our network. And we certainly see that trend continuing. Now, that said, most of the major CDN providers have taken steps to start to either offer or suggest they're going to offer P2P as an additional option on their network. Akamai acquired Red Swoosh, VeriSign acquired Contiki, etc. So I think it's clear that the technology approach of being able to use peering to reduce the cost of delivery will continue, and it's a very effective way to get big files moved inexpensively. But there's still a ways to go for carriers and cable providers to allow that to take place under business terms that are attractive to them. Juiced in particular may very well be an early, I wouldn't say casualty, but they're certainly going to suffer some injury as a result of these increased traffic monitoring, I guess, at the network level about P2P traffic. Because again, the baseline notion is that the P2P traffic itself has an impact on a carrier or a cable company's network, and it is to some degree premium in its orientation insofar as it goes up. A service like Juiced and others really rely on that traffic being inexpensive and freely available. If that dynamic changes, it's going to make it difficult for services like that to be successful with a quality of service that will be acceptable to consumers.